bottleneck, building a fizzer. Both wanna be right, lose sight, can't cut with one blade in a scissor. Are you willing to go away when I want?
All right, now you've done it. You found it. Congratulations. You've placed yourself here and you're listening to a podcast at this point in time. And it's called Kick the Cool. It's a great place to be. My name is Wopsle. I'm the littlest little brother.
And I'm Shishi. I'm the biggest and only big sister.
And my name is Tone. I'm right in the middle on everything.
You're just right.
Just right.
I came in a little bit like a unicycle on there where like I forgot how to ride and I was kind of wiggly wobbly. And but we still kind of got there. So
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem is that you like to do a different bring a different energy each time you do that. And I try to say the exact same words so that I won't forget what's next. And I always have a script. But yours is probably the cooler way to do it.
And then I try to change it up and it doesn't always land. So
I was going to say, I think time will tell that a script seems to be better. So you don't say things like, you're listening to a podcast. People are like, what? I am? Really? Wow.
What? This is crazy.
How'd this happen?
we need to review Wopsle's openings.
Yeah, just one at a time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Speaking of reviews, I don't know if you guys know this, but just recently, Spotify allows you to review podcasts. It's new, and I noticed it, and I went on today, and I had the honor of giving Kick the Cool our very first Spotify review.
What?
Nice.
So you can't say anything about it. You can just click 1 through 5 stars, and then after I clicked it, it said once we have enough data, then we will show the rating to the world. So it's not actually out there yet until we get a few more.
Oh, so this is definitely a call to action to our thousands of listeners.
Yes.
If we could get 1,000 reviews before the end of March, then I think that would really help our notoriety, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, of course.
Sure.
Because somebody would be like, the algorithm's broken. Somebody get in the machines and figure out what's happening with this podcast.
That's a good call to action, though.
Yeah. Well, because I was really thinking that, even in our iTunes podcast reviews, we've got 25 reviews, which is awesome. I was looking through them today and saw that there's a lot of good ones. I love that Heath is our friend, and he's the one that posted the 4-star review to like legitimize our reviews, if you remember.
Yes.
And I went back and looked. He's gone back since and changed it to 5 stars. So we actually don't have anything that's not a 5-star anymore.
Oh, that's good.
But I appreciate he couldn't. It was weighing too heavy on his conscience to leave it at a 4-star.
That just every day, first thing he thought when he woke up was, oh, man.
Yeah.
4 stars.
Yeah. Can't believe
And all
it.
day long, he's just nervous, just crazy nervous.
He didn't lay the
energy.
blame where it actually goes at our feet for asking for him to do
we
that.
asked for it. Yeah.
Right.
He took it upon himself.
So anyway, and I was thinking, a lot of people are hearing us say, hey, can you go rate us on Spotify? Especially if you listen there, just hit the star. It's really easy to do. But I got to thinking about how few people will actually do that because like my top 5 podcasts that I love to death that I've listened to every week for years, I've never rated them.
Mm-hmm.
I've never gone and rated.
Right.
Like there's things that I love that I've never gone and rated. You guys like that? Do you guys rate things when you like it, or you just kind of be like, I like it?
It depends on how hard it is, because I will throw a star up for a game. Like if I'm playing a game and they say, rate us, I'll go ahead and throw a star up there. But oh Lord, I hate it when it takes me to Google Play and they want me to write something about it. I don't want to write something. I just want to hit the star. So I'm really lazy in rating things. And that's the thing, like they depend on people on word of mouth, right? Just like we do. So why am I so stingy with it?
Well, when you think about the whole internet is this is a microcosm of the entire internet. And so you have all these web pages you go to. How often do you actually give anyone props? And I try to do this in my regular life outside of computers. But when I'm, anytime I'm out and about, what can you do to help people?
Just thumbs ups. I think that's the only weapon you have. Just aggressive.
Well, and the reason that they started doing that on Spotify is because Joe Rogan said, look, guys, one of my main things that makes this a cool podcast is all the YouTube reviews that I get, or all the comments in the YouTube. And then when he switched over to, he doesn't do YouTube anymore. Now he's solely Spotify. And he told them that's what he wanted. He wanted more customer interaction for all podcasts. So now they're doing it.
You just have to have enough clout, enough listeners. And I don't think we're there yet.
Oh, we're close though.
We're close
If
to
you look
Joe
on there,
Rogan.
we're behind him somewhere. I forget how far. We're behind him.
Yeah, it's somewhere between third and 3 millionth. I can't remember. We're either third
that
or 3
range.
millionth behind
I do
him.
feel like
that's
being a
pretty good guess,
creator
I think.
has made me want, like creating this podcast together with you guys, has made me want to be more generous with my reviews and with my feedback. It has not made me actually
too.
do it, but it has made me recognize the need for it, which,
Right.
it's not nothing.
Which is what everybody's going through. Everybody's doing the same thing. They're going, I should really rate that one of these days.
Yeah. I'll do it later.
I bought these,
I'll do it later.
these
Yeah.
lights
That's what I
from
do.
my garage, like hanging lights. And they were super cheap on Amazon, and they're great. They're bright. They're awesome. And I was just sitting there marveling at them one day. And Amy said, hey, yeah, you should really write a review on those if they're that good. And I was like, man, I should. And I think that's the closest I've ever been. And I didn't yet.
Now, I have done a couple of reviews when something just wowed the pants off me. So
Right.
I have done a couple, but it has been years and it's few and far between. And then you have to think, okay, do you want to review it on the place that you bought it from, or do you just want to go, kind of go to one of those? I don't know. You can leave a review anywhere, probably.
Sometimes I just go out onto my balcony and just yell,
Right.
these overhead lights are awesome. And I just assume that probably helped them. I'm talking 5 out of 5 over
stars.
here. You can leave a review anywhere.
I like to give reviews. I think I was going to say this earlier and I forgot where I was going with it. But I like to give reviews to people in a real life scenario. So what I do is like this girl at my doctor's office, she's always hustling. Now she's kind of in a bad mood always, but the amount of work that I see her deal with shows that she is hustling as hard as she can, and she's the one that makes that office run. And so I asked her, hey, you're doing a great job. Is there anybody I can call to talk good about you? And I do this all the time. Whenever I have a good interaction on customer service over the phone or, with anything, I call in, I have a problem, they fix it. And I every time say, can I talk to someone to give you props? And no one's ever like, nah, that's all right, man.
I have done that as well, but again, not very often. But that is a really good, you don't think about that as being a review normally, but that, it
Right.
is.
That's a dad thing.
But it
People
is.
talk about that dads do that. So, Tom, that's big dad energy that you're pulling from doing that all the time. I do too. I mean, I think, yeah, all dads do that. Like I like to do it with tell the waiter, like, hey, we're about done here, but could you please send your manager over? And I act mad. I'm totally throwing that curveball because I want them to be like, oh no. They send over their buddy who's obviously not the manager, who like the bus boys over there.
Shirt's not even tucked in.
They're just another customer. And they're like, hey, free cheese sticks if you go act like I'm a manager to this guy.
And then he goes over there and he tries to do the fake out, and immediately they're like, we know that you're not really, you don't have a shirt on, sir.
You're literally shirtless.
You're clearly 15 years old.
Right. We know that you don't work here.
Well, hey, on that note, what would happen if the people listening to this podcast really went to Apple iTunes and to Spotify and rated us? Let's see what could happen. I do think I've hit a realization that I'm sad to admit, but I'll admit it before you guys and our listeners and everybody. I think the only thing online I've ever rated in my life is the podcast that I do with you guys. It's my own thing, which is pretty shallow and terrible. I should probably rate somebody else's stuff, I guess. So
Right.
I will work on that.
But you do it so enthusiastically. You get points for that.
Okay, yeah, actually, let me tell you what I reviewed, because I also wrote on Apple Podcast. You can just hit the 5-star. You don't have to write something, but you can write something if you want. Here was my review of Kick the Cool.
Oh.
What a fun show. 5 stars. Granted, I'm one of the hosts, but I listen to each episode several times because it's just really a fun show to listen to. Also, the reviews are super helpful. So that's my review of this podcast, and the only one I've ever left on.
Well, I like that you didn't go like out of the box or anything. You said, "Hey, this is true, and I'm just going to tell the truth here." And I like that's kind of what our podcast is based on. Is we're going to tell the truth and then see where that takes us.
And we help people. And so, speaking of helping people,
yes,
let's get to the part that is helpful to people, which is our reviews. Shishi, you're up first this week. What do you got for us?
All right. So since I'm first this week, I get to bring the listener suggestion. And I was looking at our list and I thought, the first day of spring was yesterday, you guys. Isn't that exciting? So that means that we're coming into warmer weather.
Yeah.
So, what brings back the most childhood memories of warmer weather for me? And that is our listener suggestion today from Amy, my beautiful sister-in-law, Amy. And she suggested we review riding in the back of a pickup truck. And that is, that was a staple in our childhood. So, Tony, what do you think about that? What do you think about riding in the back of a pickup?
The first thing that comes to mind, which I don't usually do this, but right now I want to do the first thing that comes into my head.
Changing it up.
The first thing that I think of is the time that my cousin Little Joe and I were riding in the back of a truck going about an hour-long drive to Oklahoma City. And I had to pee really bad all of a sudden. And I knocked on the window and said, "Uncle Joe, I've got to pee." And he laughed. And so Little Joe says, if you get on all fours and rock back and forth, it'll make you where you don't have to pee. So I started rocking back and forth in the middle of the pickup bed. I'm on all fours, rocking back and forth. Looks really weird. And all of a sudden, Joe goes, "No way." And I look at him and he's looking at the car that's passing us on the interstate. And I look over, it's a little bitty red, like the tiniest car you can get. And it has a very big man who's dressed up as a clown in it.
Are you sure you didn't dream this?
And I swear this is true. And he looked over at us. He looks at me doing my little routine. And he just shakes his head like whatever. And keeps
like
driving.
You're the weird one.
Right.
He's like, "Man, you see all kinds of things on the highway. Look at these kids over here."
He's like, "These weird people out here, I can't even deal with this anymore. What's wrong with kids today?" That's what he was thinking. He was shaking his head. What's wrong with these kids?
And now I got to go to a birthday party and entertain.
So me and our cousin Rick were kind of the same age, or and then all of you guys were 8 to 10 years older than us, and so you guys were always the coolest guys, and me and Rick were just like the littler kids trying to be the cool guys. That was kind of our dynamic. And so I remember so many times driving out to Cora's Lake, and all of you guys got to set up on the edge of the bed of the truck. But me and Rick, because we were young, we had to sit down inside of it, or even on the wheel well, which is the worst place in history to sit. It gets into your back. It's not big enough. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking how cool it was. Or like somebody could even set up on the tailgate. And I was like, if we run over a stick that's too big, that person is dead. They are so cool right now.
Yes.
And all those it was so bumpy between the gate and the lake out of Cora's Lake that, people were just, it was like a bucking bronco back there. People were flopping on top of the truck and out the side. And just
if I'm remembering correctly, we did fall off sometimes.
And I never got to ride up there. And then whenever you guys, kind of went on and we were old enough to ride, I'd watched you guys ride it in such a scary way. I pretty much never rode up there, even after I could. I was like, nah, thanks. I'm good down here.
Right.
That seems pretty unsafe up
As
there.
an adult, if I ever ride in the back of a truck again, I am not going to get up on the edge. That's ludicrous.
Give me like a ratchet strap or something so I can use it as a makeshift seatbelt to harness myself
to the floor. Just hang on to the spare
tire. Right. Just
hugging
the spare as hard as I can.
Well, okay, man, those are some good. I remember actually the bigger kids would jump off and just run behind and then jump on again because we were going slow enough. Like it was fine. As long as you stayed away from the wheels, you were fine. But so I have two really vivid memories that always pop into my head when we talk about this. The first is, Wopsel's not going to remember this because you were a wee babe, but Tony, remember our old brown Ford with the propane tank in the back?
Boy, do I.
And it had that it had that rack on there.
Yep.
And we would sometimes, like, we would just play in that truck bed,
Right.
you know, just when it was sitting in the yard. But we would hang on to the rack and just stand there and, you know, sway back and forth. And it was like our very own personal amusement park ride.
Yeah.
And now looking back, like at the time, I wasn't thinking at all about what Mom was doing in the front seat. But now I'm thinking, was she taking those corners really, really slow? Was she watching us
Right.
every second? I bet she was, because I don't necessarily remember. Like, it wasn't an Uncle Joe experience when I was riding in the back of Mom's pickup. And she used to get on to Uncle Joe a lot about his violent, you know, steerings
Right,
with us in
right.
the back. So-
Yeah, we were just cargo to Uncle Joe. You know, you don't worry too much about the cargo back there.
Anyway, so the second thing that I always think of is, and this is a really, really hard, fast memory. And I don't think Cynthia listens to this podcast, but our cousin Cynthia and I are 2 months apart. She's 2 months older than me. So we were just like tight growing up, kind of like you and Rick Wopsle. And we would stand up going down the interstate. Back then it was 65, but you know, Uncle Joe was going 80. And our hair's blowing back. And we are
Right.
singing, "Let's hear it for the boy," into the wind as we're charging down the interstate.
How weird. How weird are
I'm
we?
going to have to tag her in this post because I think she would get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I remember two quick things. One is I remember when I stopped as an adult, I stopped sitting on the edge and I'd sit down on the wheel well. But yeah, so I remember when Mom laid down the launch, she would do this periodically because Wopsle would try to test Wopsle or Rick, I can't remember which one it was, but they would test the boundaries and go ahead and try to set up on the edge like all of us. And then Mom would blow her top and be like, "Nuh-uh."
And she would get
You are
mad
not
at
doing
us, not them, because we weren't keeping them in the truck bed.
That's right.
Oh, I'm sure that's not the back of the pickup truck's not the only instance that you got swats from me. I'm almost certain. Yeah. I kind of remember. I remember very lightly thinking when I was growing up, why is everyone else expendable, but me and Rick aren't? Like everyone. Right.
Well, that is a good
Right.
point. Like, oh, now I'm too old to be cared about now. I'm 15 years old, way past the age of anyone caring.
Yeah. It'd be tragic if a 6-year-old fell and busted their head, but 13, 14, 15,
They've had a full
who
life.
cares?
they had lived a full
Yeah.
life.
We did what we could.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, I mean, she worried about us a little bit, but she was Mom was very much more lax with us, I think, in the pickup bed than she was with, but you know, you learn as you have children, and they, you know, you mess up on the, you know, first couple of tries, and then you're like, oh, that's how I should have done it. And then that's what's happening in my family as well, in that my 3 kids dynamic. So
Just how it works, huh?
you just have a different parent. The third one has a much different parent than the first one
Yeah.
does.
Right.
So.
Didn't you say one time, that the parent, the reason the second child is messed up is because the oldest child is parenting them? Has to do all of the parenting?
Yeah.
I think you said that.
Yeah. I probably read that somewhere. That's too smart for me.
Whatever. You're the one who said Schrodinger's cat or whatever the joke was. Thumbs, yeah. Smartest thing we've ever said.
Okay, well, man, riding in the back of a pickup truck is just so many good memories. I will say it is not illegal to do that. Even in today's
Really?
age, it is in Oklahoma, you can have a kegger in the back of your pickup truck.
What?
It's fine. You can do it's lawless land. That 4x8 square is
It's like international
Lawless.
waters. You can do whatever.
yep.
That sounds like a country song right there
so-
about the bed of a truck. There being no rules back there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's international waters. That was a good one. So, well, okay. I think we're probably going to rate this pretty high because of all the wonderful memories and the fact that we did not die.
Yeah.
So, Tony, I'll go to you first. What do you rate riding in the bed of a pickup truck?
I'm going to rate riding in the back of a pickup truck 4 out of 5 old man Coors cans in Uncle Joe's hand. 4 out of 5 old man
Awesome.
Coors.
You know, one of the Uncle Joe had so many tricks that were just impressive. He was just like, he's just kind of superhuman, right?
Uh-huh.
One of the tricks was me and Rick would always be in the back of that truck. He'd be in the cab by himself. I'm not sure if that was his choice or our choice to leave him up there, or if we just wanted to ride in the back. But leaving from town, he'd have that Coors, driving down the road. About the time we hit that dirt road, he'd finish it. He'd roll down the window and just put his arm out and just flop his arm with this little flick of the wrist. And that can would come land in the bed of the truck perfectly every single time, going like 45 miles an hour down a dirt road.
That's so true.
It's very impressive. Superhuman.
And before anybody gets all upset about him drinking and driving, it didn't affect him at all.
Didn't I? Yeah. Yeah.
He was drinking Coors all day. So.
It was a different time. Yeah. Different land.
Yeah.
Wapsel, rate it.
Okay. Then.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it.
Hey, Wapsel, would you please rate riding in the back of a pickup bed?
Rate it. You ain't rating it.
Thank you. I'd love to. I wasn't going to do it before.
What?
You were a little too demanding, but now that you said so nicely, I'll go ahead and do it. Again, I got to go back to my first memories of it. I got to rate riding in the back of the pickup bed 10 out of 10 cooler cousins on the side of the bed. 10 out of 10 cool cousins.
All right. So I think I'm going to have to rate this because, we were young and dumb and had no idea the dangers that could befall us. I am going to rate riding in the bed of a pickup 10 out of 10 oblivious close calls.
That's hard to say.
Yeah.
It is hard to say. That's what I rate that.
Makes sense.
I like to think at the end of our life, there is a stat sheet of like, how many steps did you take in your entire life? Right? Like how many people, did you love? All these kind of stats. And I would love for one of the stats to be, how many close calls did you have? Parentheses, how many of those were in the bed of a truck? Because it's probably most.
And how many did you know about? And then a separate stat, how many did you not know about?
Yeah.
So I got to really thank Amy for this suggestion.
Thanks,
because
Amy.
This is one of my favorite topics ever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And she didn't grow up in the country. Part of why she wanted us to rate that is because she doesn't have very much experience riding in the bed of a pickup truck.
Oh,
so,
good. You need to remedy that. Find yourself a friend with a pickup.
Just put her in there, find some bumps.
Take her out to Payden.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, what a great review. I think we're off to a good start with this fresh spring topic. So let's continue this good energy. Tone, you're up next. What have you brought for us to review?
Is it weird?
It's weird.
Oh, is it weird?
It's weird.
You said it's weird.
It's weird.
And now it's weird.
It's weird.
You're getting weird.
It's weird.
And now you're weird.
You're weird.
It's too weird to believe.
Yeah.
Welcome to the new segment. It's called Too Weird or Not Too Weird, in which I will name a song title, and my siblings will tell me whether this is a song made by Weird Al Yankovic or not.
I have a rule question.
Yes.
Question about the rules. May we Google?
Absolutely not.
Is it a competition? Can we beat the heck out of the loser?
Yes, the loser will definitely be beaten in some way about the head and face area.
Okay.
I have an important question. Are the ones that are not too weird? Are they song titles by someone different, or are they things that you've made up? Because that's an important distinction.
It's a great question. It's a scattering of both.
Okay, nice.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a song title that I made up. It could be a real song.
Okay.
But is it by Weird Al or not? Yeah, that's all you got to tell me.
Okay.
So we're going to start what I think is pretty easy. The song title is Such a Groovy Guy. Weird or not too weird?
See, here's
I
what's
think
hard
that's
is
not too weird.
you're so good at making song titles that sound like Weird Al. I knew you were going to be too good at this.
Yep.
It's going to be indistinguishable between a song that would be actually his. I say that's too weird.
Too weird. Okay, Shishi.
I say not too weird.
Okay. Such a groovy guy is definitely too weird.
Yes.
It is.
I know. I'm going to be second guessing myself every single title because I thought that was, and then I changed my mind.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's see how this one goes. The next one is Buckingham Blues.
Ooh, that seems too
I think
weird.
that's too. I think that's too weird.
I would say that seems too weird to be his.
I think it's about Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh, that would be.
I want to listen to that.
Well, apparently not. Then I say it's not too weird.
No,
I don't.
I was just. I was going to go not too weird.
Not too weird.
You're both saying not too weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Buckingham Blues is by Weird Al Yankovic.
Ah, see, I changed my answer because of your answer.
Right.
All right, I gotta go.
Is it about Lindsey Buckingham?
It's about Buckingham Palace.
I think it's about Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh, not Buckingham Palace.
Or
Okay.
debunking ham. There are hams that debunk things.
Right.
All the little fish. All the little fish. Too weird or not too weird?
You're not giving us any that we
There's a
recognize
part-
instantly.
Yeah, if you were like
Give me a fat. Give me a eat it. Give me another one rides the bus. I'm there. I know that.
And there's also a part of me that's in my head, Tone, that I could see you making this segment where you name 10 song titles and all 10 are Weird Al. That seems like totally
Yes.
something you would do.
Right.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's what you're doing this time or not.
Now we've had, how many have
This
we
is
done
the
now?
third.
3 or 2 or 3?
Mm-hmm.
This is the third
I'm
one.
not
Okay.
keeping score. I should be keeping score.
I think not.
So we'll know who
Not
gets
too
the beat.
weird.
All the little
is
fish.
Too weird. Not too. It's not too weird.
I think it's not too weird.
It is too weird. No,
God.
I'm just kidding. All the little fish is not a Weird Al Yankovic song.
I'm up 2-1.
So it's
Chief.
not too
I am
weird.
keeping score this time, but I'll stop if I start losing.
If you stop keeping score, I'll know.
Lasagna.
Lasagna
Too
is
weird.
too
La la la
weird.
la la lasagna.
Yay! Lasagna is too weird.
That was your easy
That was
one?
the one I throw right over the plate. Yeah. Let's see here. Achy breaky fart.
Not
Too weird. But wait, let me think about it though, because he did an achy breaky heart
He did.
cover. But what was it called though? If not fart.
I think he did, but I don't
Maybe it
think it
was
was
He
fart.
might have.
Achy breaky part. And it was about cousin Eddie. How he's got that plate right under his part. Yeah,
And the part in his hair.
that tracks. I'll say not.
All right. Well, who picked what?
Not too weird.
That is correct. Achy breaky fart is not too weird. I made that up.
Yeah, I think you talk about farts a lot more than Weird Al. So if it has fart in the title, it's probably you. That's my.
Oh,
that's
really?
My,
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that this word is often associated with Weird Al, but I think he's a little more sophisticated than achy breaky fart. So
That's right.
yeah,
That's exactly right. That is really saying something.
He has a level of sophistication we can never hope to
attain,
achieve.
yeah.
Weird Al does.
Him looking down his nose at anything is lunacy. Okay. Cable TV.
That sounds so familiar, but maybe I'm thinking of UHF.
Okay.
I think it is. I think it is too weird.
well, I think it's
Okay.
going to give it away. I'm pretty sure it is too weird as well because what's an interesting thing is you guys instilled a love for Weird Al in me at a young age. But then there was a time when I was kind of in high school, when you
Right.
guys were kind of in your mid-20s, when you probably didn't rush out and buy every single album of his, where I did. Like
Yes.
in the mid-90s when he came out with like Amish Paradise. Like you guys know that song, but I bought the whole
Right.
album.
I wasn't in.
oh,
I
I
bought that
loved that,
album, right?
song, but yeah,
and so
I don't.
I think there's some
Right.
time there where I'm going to know some of these obscure ones that maybe you guys don't know as well. And that's where I think cable TV came out in the 90s.
So she says it is not too weird. Oh, it is.
It is too weird. Yes.
Too weird. And Wopsle says the same thing, right, Wop?
Yes.
You're both right.
Yay.
It is cable TV, written by Al Yankovic.
See, it was in there somewhere. Like I wasn't buying the albums, but I was still
That
paying
was a great
attention.
one. That one was that the
Right.
cover of Frustrated Incorporated? What's that song called? That's that Soul Asylum song, right? I think that was the cover.
Soul
That was
Asylum,
the spoof that he did of that one.
Oh, no, I don't think it was. I think it was an original song. But because I remember him saying, "Love my cable TV, yeah. I need my cable TV." So anyway, next one. We only got a couple of these left, but I do have a lot to choose from. Polka Town.
Now
Polka Town.
he's done
No,
20 polkas.
Not too weird.
What's the chances of him getting away without naming one Polka Town? I don't think I could name 20 anything without calling one of them. Like, name 20 taco restaurants without calling one Taco Town. Impossible, right?
I'm going the opposite way. I think he likes to do his polkas. I think he's too imaginative. So I'm going to say
That's true. Most of them all are
weird.
like the something polka, alternative polka, or some probably other polka. But I'm going to say too weird. You can't name 20 of anything without. If you name 20 dog breeds, one of them would be like Hound Dog Town. Like you can't.
Doberman Town.
So you can't name
Poodle Town.
Frison Bijou Town. So I am now second guessing myself, but I'm going to stick
sticking
with my
too.
answer because of that.
Which one are you, Wopsle?
I'm saying too weird.
And I say not too weird.
Okay. Polka Town is not too weird. There's never been a song named Polka Town ever. Okay, so what's the score,
2,
guys?
4, 5.
I'm pretty
to
sure we're tied.
5. Yep, we're tied.
Yeah.
5-5. Okay, let's do the tiebreaker.
All right. I'm so ready. Hey, we could do a buzz-in situation.
Oh.
We could do a buzz-in, and if you get it right, you win. If you buzz in, though, and get it wrong, the other person wins.
Okay. So, and we have to say buzz. We have to say buzz.
I would rather you make a buzz sound.
Okay.
Stuck in a closet with Madonna.
Buzz.
Now Sherry got it first.
I'm going to say too weird.
Too weird is correct. Sherry wins the game.
Oh,
Whoa.
When should we set up your beating?
I would have said not Madonna, or not too weird anyway, so I lost twice on that one.
Oh, 2 beatings. Okay.
Yeah. 2 beats.
No, wait. She you said not too weird.
No, I didn't. I said, oh, don't.
She said
I
too
said
weird.
too weird.
She did say too weird.
Oh, guys, I messed up.
No.
It is not too weird. I made that up.
Yes. I was said not too weird.
Stuck in a closet with Madonna is not too weird.
Oh, man.
Okay, I knew it.
Oh.
I knew it.
Now
A million
I'm-
So
times.
Wopsle wins. Yay.
Now I'm really
Wopsle wins.
regretful about rubbing the beating in your face.
I was going to say, I've been getting face beatings from you guys for my whole entire life. Now it's time to turn it around on the big sister. Finally.
I'll
knew
at
my
least
time
remove
would
my
come.
glasses. We'll find a neutral location halfway between Tulsa and Tecumseh. I think we decided Stroud. So
think
the
Stroud
Stroud
is it,
McDonald's
yeah.
parking lot is where our beating is going to occur.
Just like Stroud high schoolers. Let's meet in the McDonald's parking lot.
All right. Well, this has been too weird or too weird or not too weird. And the theme song goes like this. Is it weird?
It's weird.
Oh, is it weird?
It's weird.
You made it weird.
It's weird.
Just like your beard. It's
weird.
And now I fear
It's weird.
a guy named Weird.
It's
It's
weird.
weird.
This might be just too weird to talk about. It's weird.
It's so weird.
It's weird.
Oh, man. Well, that is weird. And it's also weird that people keep paying us for 5-star reviews on this podcast. And that's the only way we can keep the lights on is
Right.
by people that pay us, as advertisements. So having said that, let's go to the 5-star review.
Let's
Let's
go.
No, whoa, 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 whoa.
That you can't when you're left with a stain. You're so damn fed up that you gotta complain. Write a letter. You'll feel better. Reviews.
All right. Well, this week's 5-star review is brought to you by sleeping in a bed that is not your own.
Oh boy.
We're
Great
talking
product.
about
Great
camps.
product.
We're talking about, retreats. We're talking about vacations. We're talking about hotels. We're talking about boats. We're talking about anything that is not your own bed. They're really trying to change the perspective and, make people feel a little better about sleeping in a bed that's not their own. So,
Okay.
how do you guys feel about sleeping in a bed that is not your own?
Well, I actually have had pretty good experiences as an adult in this area. As a kid, not so much. Usually it was in a single bed with Cynthia poking me with her knees. But yeah, I mean, lately it's been in really nice hotels.
And you're good in a hotel.
I'm great in a hotel. The bed is so comfortable. The pillows they're plentiful. I'll usually take one and put it against the crack under the door so that the drunk people don't wake me up and the light doesn't shine in. You got those blackout curtains. I love a hotel bed.
Okay.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tone, how about you? How do you feel about sleeping in a bed that's not your own?
Well, I, for a long, long time now, have slept on a couch as my main bed.
Well, I just, I think, the bed is different. I also think the environment being different is kind of tough sometimes. I was just at a summer camp kind of situation sleeping and, the beds were uncomfortable. I double mattressed it to try to make it better. It wasn't much better, but it is what it is. But also they have exit signs, which, we don't have to have those in our home, thankfully, but in a cabin, you have to have these exit signs. And what they did is pretty interesting choice. They harnessed the power of 10 suns and crunched it down and put that amount of power and brightness into each of their exit signs in this tiny little room that I was in.
You are going to get out of that place in case of a fire.
And so, it was like, definitely panic inducing. Everyone's dreams were like wild because our eyelids were just burned and seared from these exit signs that were just impossibly hot. Someone put a t-shirt over it, which was funny because they woke up and the t-shirt was up in flames, right? Like,
Melted, right?
They were the brightest, most terrible, and it was just right in my eyes. There was no way around it. And so it's like, even if you get a comfy bed sometimes, sleeping in another place, the environment's just not going to help you.
Now, let me ask you this, Wopsle. Was it a red? Was the light red or white?
Get this. Green.
Okay.
Never even seen a green exit sign before. I think it's like kind of like a spectrum deal. Once something gets so impossibly hot, it kind of goes through the colors. So it achieved a brightness and heat level that could only be viewed by the human eye.
Yeah,
as
I
green.
think that's how that works.
You nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it.
Now, I will say that sleeping in a room with other people is off the charts uncomfortable. So if I'm sleeping, if I am sleeping in a camp situation, that's really, really bad.
Yeah.
In a hotel room by myself, I'm used to that comfiness. It's good. But no, if there's other people there, that is where I draw the line.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
Very good call.
But I've been sleeping by myself for 10 years. So it's hard to adjust to another body or breathing pattern or just the energy. Then I'm always worried that I'm going to fart in my sleep.
Well, listen, I think there's been, it's tough sometimes, but this week, we're all fans of sleeping in bed it's not your own. In fact, I wish I was sleeping in a bed that's not my own tonight.
Right.
It's my
me
favorite.
too. Right.
5 out of 5 stars. Everybody
Thanks for
should do
the
it.
money.
Get out there and do it. They're going to sponsor us. We're fans. So, thanks. Sleeping in a bed that's not your own.
Thanks,
Thanks, sleeping in a bed that's not your own.
When you're left with a stain, you're so damn fed up that you gotta complain. Write a letter, you'll feel better. Reviews.
Okay, well, this week for our last review, I have brought for us to review vacation excursions. So what I mean by that is like when you go to a place, like the little things you do while you're in that place. I think an excursion might only technically apply to like a cruise, but I'm kind of thinking about things other than that. I actually have some literature here that I'm going to go through. But before we get to that, I would love to hear some of your thoughts on kind of, those little things you do at a location that you go to. What do you think, She?
Well, my vacation, my actual vacation experience is very small. So even on business trips, I think I'm going to do stuff and then I just walk around and look at stuff. So I don't know. I don't have much to say about it.
Well, good. You'll see that's actually the best case scenario. So you'll see why here in a minute.
Okay.
But Tone, what do you think about vacation excursion?
Well, I don't know that I've ever had one. Would this count whenever we were in band camp and everyone was in this, we're in a van with all these kids we don't know, and we're in a van and it's packed to the gills with kids from band camp. And somebody said, hey, what are you going to do when we get back to the rooms? And someone said, or we get back to the dorms, and someone said, I'm going to play my flute, whatever. And they kind of went around the bus. None of us knew each other. I had like 2 friends in there. And then I just very quietly said, well, I'm going to run nude through the sprinklers. And everybody loved it.
Right.
There was a lot of laughing going on. So that's the closest thing that I can think of to kind of an excursion.
You excursed out to the sprinklers.
Right. Excursed. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Well, no, I think that this is perfect. Our level of experience is perfect because I went down to the ice machine last time I was at a hotel. And, I don't know if you've ever seen these racks they have with these little pamphlets, these little brochures. But there's hundreds of them. And as I was sitting there, I looked over and I saw one. So I have some of them here that I want to run through you, but I'll tell you why we picked them. The first one I saw that I'm holding, it said NASA Space Center in Houston.
Ooh, cool.
And I saw this poking up. And Mom actually took me there twice whenever I was young. After you guys got out of the house, me and Mom did a lot of cool stuff. Once we didn't have to bother with y'all anymore. And so we went there twice, and it was awesome. It was fun. So I picked it up, and I was like, I forgot about this place. And it doesn't really, tell me much about it other than I should go. But I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. I was like, well, if this was good, what else is on here? And as I looked at the other 100 or so pamphlets, I realized no human has ever gone on any of these excursions. There is no way anyone has ever gone on them. So I don't know how this is going to work in an audio format, but I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about these pamphlets. And then we're going to kind of tell people, whether they should or shouldn't be interested in these particular excursions.
Oh, yeah, that sounds really helpful.
So right, I think it'll be really helpful. No one's ever gone on them before. So this is kind of the first time these people are getting the word out. And these ones I chose are because they had kind of the worst pamphlets. So here we go. The first one that popped up that I thought, okay, this one at least maybe someone's done this. It's a pamphlet for a tandem skydive.
Ooh.
And the first thing that popped out to me is they have a picture of a guy skydiving on the front, but he is so like Mr. Skydive. He's a white dude with cornrows and these like super bro shades on. It's like if the SNL was doing a skit on skydiving, this is the guy that would be in the skit. So it's like, I don't know, something about just strapping to a stranger and hoping he gets me to the ground safe. I don't know that I want to, if I'm going to die by crushing into the ground, I feel like I'd rather be closer to home. I don't know.
Now, is that what tandem means? I thought that tandem meant like 2 jumpers who weren't pros.
No, you got to have your one pro, and then you're the idiot that's trusting him.
And it's still called, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
I mean, I guess you could have 2 people that knew what they were doing, but I think if you knew what you were doing, you just go by yourself.
But wait, Tom, didn't you say 2 people who don't know what they're doing?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. So tandem skydiving is when 2 people who don't know how to skydive both do it at the same time.
That's right.
Kill 2 birds with one stone.
There's safety in numbers.
The stone is the earth.
Let me tell you, this does not specify whether or not you will be strapped to a person that knows what they're doing.
Right.
So, John, you might be right. You might, yeah.
I just don't want my teeth to fall out. That's all. I mean, I guess you'd have to have false teeth for that to happen, but that's all.
Like in the air?
But that concerns you that someday you will have false teeth.
Yes.
And you won't be able to jump out of a plane.
So everyone skydive before You have dentures.
before you get dentures.
But here's one. So this has this one in particular has a beach landing, it says. So
Okay.
Oh,
I guess that's better because it's kind of softer, but like,
Why
you know
not
how
the
quickly a
water?
beach landing becomes a water landing? I feel like that's
Right.
a pretty cool, pretty small margin
and
of error.
then then your parachute becomes a weight
Right. As his stranglehold.
speeding towards the Marianas Trench.
But here's actually the reason I picked this up, though, is this Tandem skydive is the name of the business, apparently, has a slogan, and this is the slogan. Life's a beach. Jump it.
What? No. Stop it, Wopsle.
Life's
Talk
a
honestly.
beach. Life's a beach. What does that mean? Jump
You
it.
stop making things up. I'm serious. You stop it.
Life's a beach has been said before. Okay, so maybe I'm not sure what you're trying to say with that.
Beach?
But jump it.
How
Are
do
you
you jump
jumping
life
life?
and a
Are
beach?
you jumping a beach? What does that mean?
Jump life. That doesn't
Life.
mean anything. Jump over life.
Please just use that. Next time somebody's like having a bad day or a good day, either way, just be like, I feel you. Life's a beach. Jump it.
Jump it.
And they're like, dude,
Oh.
Wopsle, that's deep, man.
Based on that alone, I'm gonna recommend people go on this excursion.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
my recommendation.
And at least ask them that question. Hey, what'd you guys mean by life's a beach?
Yeah.
Jump it.
Pay your money, get in the plane, ask them, get the answer, and go back down without jumping.
Well, I do know one thing. That one that you just said, Wopsle, means that they have Fonzie there. And Fonzie's going to jump the shark, right? Which is a metaphor for jumping your life.
For your life, like going too far into the crazy.
Yes, going too far.
Jump
So
it.
they should have said, "Life's a shark. Jump it."
Jump it.
Now that-
see, that's our new phrase. That's the kick the cool catchphrase.
Life's a shark.
Life's a
Jump
shark.
it.
Jump it.
Okay, that one I thought would be the quickest one. I might have to cut some of these out. I only have a few more, but we had a lot more to say about that one slogan than I thought. Here's the next one I'm going to bring to you. Ghost Tours Texas. It's a
Yes.
haunted walking tour of legend, history, and mystery.
Ooh.
So there's lots of things on here that I think are interesting. It says Galveston's Haunted Mansion District. So it's a
district.
walking tour
Okay,
through the Haunted Mansion District.
is that the official city name of that district? Like we have the
Well,
Mesa
that's what I thought.
District.
What if you called up the city
Paseo.
council? City council, and you're like, hey, I think my house might be haunted, and they're like, sorry, you guys aren't zoned for that. Like, sorry, that's not you're not in the right place.
How much
And
is
then it-
this? 'Cause that's
these
gonna
don't
factor.
these do not have prices on them,
Oh,
Oh.
so it's kind of a call to get it kind of situation. I do love that this says this: engaging, theatrical, entertaining, and then it says recommended by Travel Channel and major hotels. You know the recommendations are legit when they don't list said major hotels.
they don't
They're just like,
list
you know the
them.
ones.
And it's
You know the
theatrical, so
ones.
does that mean they're going to have a guy in a sheet jump out of these haunted mansions?
Right.
Yeah, how theatrical are we talking? Like haunted house, for Bricktown style? Is that theatrical? I feel like a lot of these have like the three things. Like this one says like legend, history, and mystery. And it also says engaging, theatrical, entertaining. There's lots of lots of cadence to what they're selling you.
Okay.
I think they just wanted to say one thing. And they're like, well, we can't just say engaging. We got to add some more stuff to it because sometimes the other one seems like kind of fluff. Anyway, private tours available. Book today, but it's only in the one district. Just walk around, look at some houses.
Which I would rather just say go on a tour where you look at mansions. They don't have to
Right.
be haunted because you know that
Yeah.
you're not going to experience the haunting out on the sidewalk. So,
Wait,
you know?
okay. Yeah, no, you're right. I just saw, you're going to walk by and be like, that one's haunted. All right. Like, did you do anything? Well, no, we got to stay out here. You could have called any district the haunted district then. I also love that there are tour times. For example, in May through October, it's open 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So they really got with the ghosts and they were like, hey, if you could haunt super good, like between 8 and 10, that's when we're going to be coming by here. The rest of the day, just chill.
Yeah.
But these are the real spooky times, apparently.
8 to 10.
If you go by at 11, it can be like, man, this seems pretty quiet around here. Well, yeah,
The ghosts are
the
asleep.
ghosts are done for a bit.
So
Okay.
so when you don't want to be involved in this, you just stand out on the sidewalk where they can't get you, and you just try to like challenge them the whole time. You suck. I'm not scared at all. Ha! And you're out on the sidewalk, and you just taunt them.
Meanwhile, they're murdering the family that live there because of your taunting.
You're like, I'm not
They're
scared at
so
all.
frustrated.
Taking it out on them. All right. So ghost tours, it's a pretty small window, but I think you got to get in there if you can in that one district. What's funny is, if you can probably just Google and figure out, it says it's 6 blocks worth. I mean, if you're just going to walk around and look at them, you probably don't have to pay these people to do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You might just do it. So that's a little kick the cool pro tip. Okay, the next one is the reason why I started picking these up. Because this one says rage rooms with 2 exclamation points.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's called the Rage Cage, and it's got like a toothless emoji face with like teeth knocked out, with a baseball bat going one way and an axe the other way.
What?
What?
So I'm like, okay, the Rage Cage, and it's like intense. Let's go.
Wow.
Here's what they offer. Because I've heard of these things where you can like go in and smash a bunch of glass plates, or whatever. That's kind of what I thought it was. We were getting into.
Yeah.
But here's what they offer. Axe throwing. Okay, right? I could see that happening at a
Yeah,
rage
that sounds
cage.
fun. Mhm.
Yeah.
Airsoft shooting.
Okay.
Okay. Jiu-jitsu classes.
Wait a
Nice.
minute. Wait just a minute here.
That sounds great.
Have you ever been in a location for about 18 to 24 hours and thought, hey, while I'm here, I should take some jiu-jitsu
I should
classes?
learn jujitsu. It's going to be so helpful.
And then the last one they offer is sumo suit wrestling.
Okay.
Well, that sounds pretty fun too.
That sounds like a blast.
Here's the thing. I think these things sound fine. I don't know that the rage cage with the toothless emoji represents the things they offer as well as they think that
Yeah.
it does.
Did the emoji have cauliflower ears? If so,
no.
I'm thinking it's MMA. So that sounds
Yeah,
really MMA.
There seems to be no cage involved whatsoever.
Right. See, I thought the cage was going to be a cage match where when you go into the haunted house, you have to go against another family.
Oh, right.
Cage match.
Your cage is your own self-loathing.
You want a cage? I'm in a cage.
In that sumo suit.
What the heck am I doing here?
What am I doing here? Oh man, yeah. So Rage Cage, I mean, I don't know what you're going to get yourself into when you go in there. Here's another logo too they have where it's that same emoji, but he's standing there in a full gi, and in one hand he has a throwing axe, and the other hand he has a giant sledgehammer. I got to send you guys. You guys are not going to believe this picture that I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
And he's saying 2 things. He's saying axe throwing and smash.
Goodness.
But then all they
Why?
offer is jiu-jitsu
Why?
classes.
That's like, that whole thing reminds me of like if Cowtown USA were to advertise for a rave. You go down to the honky tonk for your rave.
Yeah, if the title of it was like, ultra rave, and then the bullet points were like 2-stepping.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Angry
Square dancing, right? Aggressive two-stepping.
Slowly flashing lights.
Okay, so rage rooms, if you're looking to take some quick jujitsu classes, it's probably going to be one you want to hit up. But other than that, I don't know that it's quite as much rage is involved in this cage as they would imply in the emoji logo. So that might be a pass for me. Okay. The last one I grabbed, and there's really only one thing I want to ask you guys because I think you might have some insight on this that I didn't have. These are from Galveston, and in Galveston, there's like a big pier they have called the Pleasure Pier.
Oh.
And it says rides, food, and fun. So, be adventurous. So there's like rides. It's pretty cool looking. And there's 39 things on this pier that you can do. Something called Big Wheelin', something called Galaxy Wheel, all kinds of things. But the number one thing, the number one on this list of 39 things says 5D theater ride.
Whoa.
5D?
5D. And I was just really like, how many Ds do you need? Like, that's too many, I think. What possible...
Even in bra size, you just go up to triple D and then you move to the E cup. So 5 Ds is a lot.
So how many Ds? What are these Ds that they've found that the rest of us don't know about? It's a shark attack 5D theater ride. Is the fifth D like a literal shark bite? Like you lose a limb?
It's D's nuts.
I was waiting to say that, and then I decided not to, and I did not know Sherry was going to say it. That's for sure.
There were so many things I wanted to say right there, and that's what came out.
The cream of the crop was D's nuts. Oh, I'm dying. All right.
I wonder if they're trained to, because 4D is typically means you're in something that moves. And you have your 3D glasses on, right? Mm-hmm. So the 3Ds are what's happening on the screen. The fourth D is you're moving around. I bet every time someone walks up to them at the ticket counter and they says, "Hey, what's the fifth D?" I bet they just yell, "D's nuts!" for everyone to hear. And then you just stand there and you're like, well, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to respond.
I have a theory on what the 5D might be. Time travel.
Okay. Oh, time is the fifth dimension. So
right.
They're sending you back to the dinosaur days when the megalodons, and then that's when you run into trouble.
That's when you run into trouble. Yes.
Life's a megalodon. Jump it.
Let me see here. Pleasure Pier. Let me see what their slogan is. Here it is. It says, "Life's a megalodon. Jump it." So
nailed it.
So yep. They got Bubba Gump Shrimp Co. I tell you, out of the 39 things, I don't think I'm going to go see how many Ds of sharks they're going to be able to show me. I think I'll skip that one and go to everything else. Because 5 Ds is just too many Ds.
Too many Ds.
Yeah. So, here when this is all said and done, here's how I would like to wrap up. And I don't know that we need to rate this segment because we kind of rate each one of these individually. But I don't suggest if you're on vacation, you go and do any of the stuff in those pamphlets. I do suggest you go pick up a few of these pamphlets and just read over them while you're on the plane or whatever, because it's pretty good material, and I think it's gonna treat you right.
And don't forget to have fun. That's one of the things that one advertised. They said you can do this and you can do that, and it's also got fun. Well, that's a pretty generic descriptor. You're gonna have fun. Well, what am I gonna be doing? Having fun.
Is that a guarantee?
Well, I do love that one. The other two on that tone were rides, which it's binary. Either there are or there aren't rides.
Yes.
Food. Okay. Yes. That can be proven. You can be held accountable to whether or not there are rides or food. And then fun is the only one that's like, well, we'll see,
We'll see about that.
I'll be the judge of that.
I would be holding on to that ticket stub ready to get my money back.
Right?
It'd be funny if it was like rides, food, pier, and that end of list. Like, we promise. We promise. Those three things.
That's all we can promise. You might not have fun. We got to be honest.
Several people this season have been here and not had fun because of all the D's. But the pier is a certainty.
Yeah, there is a chance that 5D could be the no fun dimension. It could, it could be.
Okay, well, I do think that with that, we are going to be done for this week. Thanks again to Amy for suggesting the pickup beds. A trip down memory lane is always a fun time for us. If you have any review you'd like us to cover, you can send it to us at reviews@kick.cool.
And we would also like to give a big old thank you to the band Bugs for letting us use the song Reviews as our theme song. Please go buy their new album. I said before that their new album came out. I was wrong. That was just pre-order. So now I believe that it's been released and you can pick one up. So go buy their new album, Cooties. Thank you, Bugs.
And you better follow us on Twitter at Kick the Cool, because I'm going to tag Weird Al and let's see what he does.
Yes.
If he comments.
Great idea.
We'll see.
Certainty. All right. Well, but that's going to do it for this week. But until next week, I'm Wap.
I'm She.
And I'm Tone.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you.
Love you, everybody.
Bye.
Love you. Love you. Love you.
When you left me to stay, I'm so dead.